Hey guys, welcome back to whatever this is, and today it's all about Inuyasha. So, as usual, it all starts with season 1. I fell into this show when I was in high school. It's your standard kind of adventure shonen. She's a reincarnation from 1,000 years ago, falls into a bone eater's well, gets teleported to feudal Japan, and she has a sacred jewel that was reincarnated with her because her previous life burned it in her body, and, you know, as one does. And when she went back in time, the jewel had come out, and demons were wanting it. She ended up breaking it, thinking nobody could have it then, and then there were just shards everywhere, so the entire series is based around them exploring the feudal era and jumping from location to location and collecting little shards. And it was a good show. It was, you know, typical Monster of the Week type of show, but they got a lot of seasons out of this baby. It was 7 seasons worth of all these characters, of Inuyasha, Kagome, Moroku, Best Girl Sango, Shishomaru, which my one friend has a very large love affair with, and so on. These characters were really good, considering I'm just pulling out the seasons here, and this show went on for a while. I got really lucky years ago as I managed to get these all, like, incredibly cheap. I think they were just in reprint mode, and they put them in these nice small cases, and it was incredibly affordable to actually finally buy all these, because this show was my childhood, or I should say high school life growing up. And that was during a time when, like, I felt like I really couldn't talk about anime or manga with anyone, as I was in high school, and it's like, that's for kid stuff. You don't talk about Dragon Ball anymore, Sailor Moon, or Inuyasha, even though it was currently airing on YTV in Canada here, as that's where my mainstream of anime came from, was just there. And this show was a fun adventure. It's a lot of episodes. I understand this is 7 seasons worth, and that doesn't finish the story. The story actually finishes years later, because when they hit the last season, they had caught up, so they actually just ended the show. They didn't even give it an ending. It just ended, and they knew there was like a tiny fragments left that they had to collect, and that was it. And they left us in the dark for like 7 years before they finally did the last season. It was weird. It was one of the few shows that did that too, and because it's so good, they did. Hold on, I'm just gonna grab them. They did end up doing them years later, and these came out in like 2012 with the original voice cast coming back again to do all of Inuyasha, which is incredible. Very few shows can say that even happened, especially getting back the originals. The only person who didn't come back at that point was Monica Story, because she just retired. She just wasn't having it anymore. And this was a fun show. Like, there's a lot of filler throughout all this, but all the filler's still kind of fun. There's the odd filler arc you can just straight up skip, because some of them are quite long, but some filler episodes are only 2 or 3. And that was it. Like, for a show around that time, that was really unheard of, as filler was just the most common way you would watch something. So if you haven't seen Inuyasha, I recommend the base premises, the jewel shattered, they gotta collect the pieces, and there's 4 main characters. Great show. I would say recommend it. Great adventure period. Kind of cool to see the feudal Japan era, as that's something, obviously me being, you know, in North America, that's not something I'm exposed to. So to me, it was like a really cool ride. And when you talk about that era of Japan, or anime life, you can't forget that there were, count them, 4 movies that they actually managed to produce during that time. They're varying qualities. The first one I just rewatched, actually. It's okay. It feels just like this could have been like a 3-part filler arc. It actually wasn't too bad. But the only thing we noticed was really weird was this one actually takes a lot more of the art design from the manga, which is cool, because I actually do prefer her art a lot more in the manga. So the characters seem off model, as my one friend kept saying, but it was really good because of that. And movie 2 was a lot of fun, as the villain kind of like pretends to lose, and it's kind of like this really dark kind of like move to get this one demon out so that the main villain can kill her. Not the main character, so the main villain can kill her. I thought that was kind of cool. My one friend really likes it because the 2 main characters kiss. It's very important to her. Movie number 3. This one is my personal favorite. This is the one where Shishomaru actually does something in it. They do actually a lot of back lore on the Tensega and Tetsega, which is super awesome, and I'll always never forget hearing that it came out, and then as soon as class was over, I gunned to the Rogers video down the street, and I managed to rent it, because you couldn't stream stuff back in 2003. Nope, you had to rent it and hope to God they actually had a physical copy that you could take home for that evening. And you had to remember to bring it back, or they charged a late fees. Now this one, I actually remember getting a copy of it from this place in Toronto called, we just refer to it as P-Mall. And if you're from Toronto, you know what that is. I always had that version, so the subtitles were really weird. So it wasn't until years later that I got this copy, and I actually managed to watch this one, as it was really, really cool. I liked it. A lot of people didn't like it because it was just kind of like, oh, there's all these half demons on this island, and they just gotta save them and get them off the island or they'll be killed. It was fine. For like what was pretty much the closer, this was pretty much it. You had all the seasons, and then this was it, and then that was it till the final act came out where they actually finished the show. Gotta give them credit for doing that at the time, because again, not the way anime is now. They would have had way more filler because she just kept writing at the time. Not that it was a bad thing; it was still really good. It's just the show, they caught up. They had to end it, or they had to make filler, and she's like, nope, no filler in my show. You end it, and when I'm done, you can have it back. And that's pretty much what they did. This was a really big series to me growing up, especially in my high school days, that I'd recommend even nowadays. This is still an anime classic that anyone should check out. I have a lot of memories with friends. I still need to cosplay Moroku at some point. It's still on the bucket list of cosplays to do. But anyways, guys, hopefully in my entire rambles here of Inuyasha and just taking shots off the hip here, hope you enjoyed this episode. Check out Inuyasha if you can. I know streaming it is not the easiest thing in the world, but I know the DVDs and Blu-rays are not that expensive. You can kind of skip the movies, like kind of watch the show and then maybe check out the movies afterwards. The movies are a lot easier to find than the actual show, which is really bizarre. But if you're going to check out something and you just want to dip your toe in, try watching movie 1. Actually, I think it's this one. Watch movie 1, maybe movie 2, one or the other. And if you like that, maybe you'll like the show. So, anyways, guys, take care. Have a good one.